Hello friends, welcome to my Fotowerks series. In this episode, I will show you how I make my static satellite photos into an immersive 360 by 180 degree metaverse that you can upload in Facebook or any website dedicated to panoramic images. And you too can jazz up some of your satellite setups too. To get started, open any satellite project you like or just download my setup here with the link provided below. Of course, you need the Set.A.Light software to begin with, and that link is provided below too. To produce any panoramic image, we need to create this equi-rectangular photo shown here. It is a distorted and compressed image showing all the front and back and all the top and down details of what the virtual camera sees in Set.A.Light. The equi-rectangular image is produced by 8 photographs. And these photographs overlap each other by around 20%. And this is necessary for the photo-stitching software to put them all together into one image. My preferred photo-stitching software is PTGui, and the link is provided below because Adobe Photoshop is not there yet. I will use the latest version of PTGui, and this version is unpaid yet, so expect a lot of watermarks all over the final image. PTGui will help us stitch and merge the 8 photos required for a panoramic equi-rectangular image. For simplicity's sake, I've written below each photograph the suggested file names that denote each photo's progression and angle of view. For example, the first image on the left has the file name first image 0 degrees. And the second photograph has the file name second image 60 degrees, and so on and so forth. Our point of view will be just adding 60 degrees after the initial photograph. So from our first image, we added 60 degrees for the second image, and for the third image, we added another 60 degrees for the fourth image at 180 degrees. So it's just 60 degrees plus 60 degrees until we complete a 360 degree photograph. Of course, the seventh image will be the floor of the vehicle at a 90 degree pitch facing downward. And of course, we have to photograph the roof of the vehicle, and that is the negative 90 degree pitch. So it's time to shoot our 8 images. So let's open a satellite project. If you downloaded the file I provided, you will see an image like this. So to make the image a little more let's say familiar, just use the 4-way navigation bar and then slowly go up and try to find, or if you're able to see, a car. Yeah, there's the car. I see a blackout. And then try to use the magnifying glass and slowly zoom out. Yeah, slowly zoom out, so that we can be able to view both the car, the model, and the vehicle. And then adjust according to taste. Yeah, I think that's okay. So if you downloaded my file, it is ready for rendering. So just click on the camera icon in the set list on the lower right. And for our first photograph, make sure that the pitch is set at 0 The roll is at 90 degrees, which is like shooting in portrait mode or vertical mode. And then your yaw is at 0 degrees. So this will be the first camera position. As for camera adjustments, make sure your camera is set at full frame and the aspect ratio is 16:9, and use the longest focal length or the widest focal length at 11 millimeter. And set your aperture to f32 so that you will have maximum great depth of field. The other adjustments are very arbitrary and it's up to you. So let's shoot our first image. So click on the camera, make sure that all the adjustments are at pitch 0, roll at 90 degrees, and yaw at 0 degrees. Now let's go over to export. So click on export. And if you have to press apply to stage, go ahead and click export. So when you export, you could use the file name I have provided below in the description below. So I'll just copy paste, and this is our first photographs file name. First image at 0 degrees. So I'll export to JPEG. So now it has rendered, and this is the first image right here. All right. So let's shoot our second image. So let's go back to setup and click on the camera. We will add 60 degrees for the second image. You can just copy paste the file name I have provided. All right. So let's now go to export. No, sorry about that. Let's adjust the yaw to 60 degrees. So type in 60 degrees. And you should see the camera move and the angle of view change. And then export. And you have to apply the changes. So click apply and then export. And then copy paste the second file name and then save the JPEG. And then we have our second image here. Let me just increase the thumbnail size. So this is our first image, and this is our second image at 60 degrees. All right. Now let's go back to our setup. Click on our camera, and let's do our third image. So if we add 60 degrees plus 60 degrees, the camera the next image should be 120 degrees. So type there 120 degrees, enter. And now you are ready to export our third photograph. So go to export, click apply, copy paste the file name I provided, and then export, paste the suggested file name, which is your third image at 120 degrees, and save. Very good. We have now our third image. Let me close that. We go back to setup. So if we add 60 degrees to 120 degrees, that will give us 180 degrees. So just type over it 180 degrees, hit enter. We're now facing the front of the car. Go to export, click apply, and then click export again. And for our fourth image, just copy paste the suggested file name for the fourth image. So there you go. And then save. All right, there's our fourth image. Very lovely. Let's close that. Let's now photograph our fifth image. So just click on the camera, and if you add 180 degrees plus 60 degrees, you'll have 240 degrees. So let's type in 240, hit enter, and then go back to export, apply, and then export again, and then copy paste the fifth file name for our fifth image at 240 degrees, and then click save. Okay, very good. Our fifth image over there. And now for the sixth image, let's go back to setup and click on the camera. And then if we add, if you notice, it's negative 120. So you can just disregard that. So we had 240 degrees before. If you add 60 degrees to 240, that should be 300 degrees. So just type over it, 300 degrees, and hit enter. And then you go back to export, click apply, and then click export again. And then copy paste the sixth image as your file name, and then render, save. And there you go, our sixth image. All right, for our last two images, we have to take a picture of the ceiling. So click on your camera, make sure your yaw is defaulted back to 0. And we need to photograph the ceiling, and we need a 90-degree pitch. So set the pitch at 90 degrees. Sorry, yeah, that's the floor. Yeah. So I prefer to shoot the floor first before I shoot the ceiling. So pardon me there. So let's photograph the flooring of the vehicle. Set it at 90-degree pitch, like thus, and you are ready to export again. So click export, click apply, and click export again, and then copy paste the suggested file name for the floor, which is our second to the last image, the seventh image, and then render. All right, very good. There's our seventh image. Let's close this and photograph our last image, which is we have to photograph the ceiling. So to photograph the ceiling, you have to set the pitch at -90. So just add a negative sign and click enter, and you should see ceiling. Yeah, with the light bulb. So go back to export and click apply and export. Copy paste the suggested file name, copy right there, paste, and render. And there you have it. So we have here we have 8 images, and these 8 images are ready for photo stitching. So let's go over the photo stitching software, which is PTGui. So let me just open it here. And this is how the interface looks like. Make sure you're in simplified mode. All right, so just click on the simple and make sure you are in simplified mode. It's very straightforward. So for the first step, load all your images. So these are my images, 8 images. So I just select them all and click open. And then PTGui will ask you for the crop factor. Since I'm using full frame, just type in 1. And then I'm okay with the other settings. I click OK. It will ask you what focal length did you use. Just make sure it's at 11 millimeter. And it's not a fisheye, so I leave it as it is and I click OK. So there you have it. The photographs, the 8 photographs we took. So let's go down to step number 2, which is, it says here align images. So just click on the align images and then PTGui will automatically align it. Sometimes it's not good looking to have the main subject of your picture to the side of the panorama. So if you want to center your image, like I want the air conditioning of the car to be the middle of the equi-rectangular image. So you just click this crosshair up here. This crosshair will help you set the center of the image in the middle of the equi-rectangular image. So I'm just going to click the crosshair and I want the air conditioning to be the center. So I'm going to look for the horizon line. So this is the imaginary horizon line and I'm going to put the crosshair aligned to the air conditioning. So just click it right there and voila. There you go. Right in the middle. And if you want to straighten your panorama, you can click on this line. It says here straighten panorama. Do so. And if you don't see it move, that means it has been flawlessly leveled. So if you're happy with what you see, you can close the viewer and then go to step number 3, which says create panorama. So let's click on that. And you will be encountered with this resolution fields, which is width times height. So for general viewing, I set this at 8,000 pixels. I think that is the minimum resolution for general viewing. For professional panoramas, you need something higher than that, like probably 10,000 pixels or 20,000 pixels. But for our purposes, 8,000 pixels is plenty. So you can define it as a JPEG or a TIFF, and you can define where you want the photograph, the equi-rectangular image to be saved in. So I'm going to save it where I have put my other images. I'm going to give this a file name like my panorama, my car interior panorama or panel. And then I'm going to click save. All right. And then you go downstairs here where it says create panorama and click it and just wait for the program to stitch and then try to open the folder where you have it saved, and it's right here, my car interior panorama. So there you go. If you zoom in, it has a lot of watermarks. All right, that's expected. I'm yet to buy it. And this image is ready for uploading. So let's try to upload it. So let me just open Facebook. Yeah, let's try my Facebook. And then let's click on photo, add photo video, select my folder, and here it is, my car interior panel. So I just click on it. And if you see this icon here that looks like a circle with two oblongs intersecting, That means it is already recognized as a 360 by 180 degree equi-rectangular image. So now you can place, post it. And there you have it. Posted in my Facebook. All right. So let me just enlarge it. And there you have it, folks. Just give it time to load. And there you go. A jazzed up Set.A.Light 3D image. Yeah, it's almost perfect. So that's all for today. And in all projects, the Set.A.Light camera is really fantastic. It is really geared for 3D panoramic shots. And it is really a wonderful technology to have this built in by default. So that means you can do 360 panorama all the time with all of your satellite assets. Now it's your turn to have fun and experiment with your satellite projects by expanding your point of view. Maybe in the future, we will have a panoramic camera built in Set.A.Light. Thank you for watching.